Hi guys, so today we are having a look at this rather odd shaped sponge from H&M, and because it's becoming almost tradition, it's going to have a face off with the Beauty Blender, and I got the cool purple swirly one because I'm a big child. So this is just described by H&M as dual-ended sponge. It is $3.99. It's really weird. I associate this shape with like erasers from school for like getting rid of mistakes, which I guess you can use a makeup sponge for. But I've never used a sponge this shape before, so I was curious. I bought it. I've done my makeup with it today, or half my makeup with it today. Let's see how that went. Right, so I've wet both the sponges, and just to give you an idea of how much this grew, this is the box that it came in. It's not going in there. So when I first took this out, I didn't expect it to kind of expand quite as much. So I've got my little palette and I've got two little dollops of foundation so that I can kind of see. They are roughly the same size. I know this one's a bit smooshed out, but just so I can see whether one uses more or less product. I'm just going to start with this edge because I don't really know. Like I've seen these weird eraser shaped sponges before, and I don't really know what the plan is. Like I get this is nice and pointy and it'll be good for getting in under there, but I'm not sure what's going to be the best kind of general application angle to go with. This isn't feeling like the best one because it's kind of floppy. Maybe I want to use the other side of that. Yeah, that's better. That was probably what it's meant to go like. Oh dear. But that's not helping with the amount of product that I've used up because I've now used two surfaces of this sponge. So maybe we won't judge it on how much product it's absorbing because part of it's my mistake. So yeah, that's went on relatively fast. I've got into all the little nooks and crannies. I think this end's going to be great when it comes to concealer, even for putting in powder. I'm also going to just use it for just bits that I want a bit more coverage than I've managed there. Yeah, so that's quite good for building up that bit compared to with this one. Okay, so I like this end better so far. It's a strange thing to say, but there you go. So Beauty Blender, this is the cool swirly purple one. So I know exactly what end I want to be using with this one because I used to use Beauty Blenders all the time, and I switched back to brushes because I'm just a really decisive person and I always stick to things and never change my mind. Yeah, if that was true, that would be so weird. Right, so I feel like I've got a heavier coverage on the other side. Like I said, when I wasn't expecting that sponge to expand quite as much because the feel of it was a little bit more rubbery. So possibly, wouldn't absorb as much product as the Beauty Blender, which would give you a heavier coverage. So let's zoom in and compare them side by side. So Beauty Blender, other one. I will say though, for all that this has got a heavier coverage, I feel like I've got a nicer finish on the Beauty Blender side. Like some of that looks a bit caked. So I'm just going to try and even that out just a little bit. And then, yeah, I think this shape's more intuitive as well, just for what you're doing with it. So next we are going to do our concealer. So as always, I'll be starting with my under eye corrector from NYX. My nails are broke, so it's so much easier to get this out of the jar now. I'd rather correct my nails. Just a little extra dollop because I've not had enough sleep this week. So back in with this guy, as said, this looks like what I'd want to be using for my under eye. That's blended that out, no trouble at all. Beauty blender, I always use the narrower end for under my eye. So I'd say we've got better coverage out of the other one, again, but this time the finish looks nice as well, so there is that. What concealer will I use? I'm going to use a mix of concealers actually. So I'll use the Kat Von D for my under eye, and then I'll use a stick concealer for other places, so we can see how they deal with different, you know, different textures of concealer. Right, so back into my little corner. Probably should have remembered that this didn't absorb as much product and used slightly less concealer than that, because that Kat Von D concealer goes quite a long way. Oh well, I'm fine with brightening up that whole area on my face. Yeah, so that one, it didn't go quite as far, did it? I almost feel like I want to add a little bit more. So I don't want to be, you know, shadowy on one side and not the other. That's not a look I want to play with today, or any day, to be honest with you. Both sides of my face are going to have had equal sleep, or equal faked sleep. Okay, so I'll zoom you out just a little bit, because, you know, we're working on wider area of the face. I'm going to use the Revolution Fast Base Concealer Stick, just to see kind of how it deals with that, because it's a harder texture. So I'm just getting my usual kind of problem areas, a couple of little actual spots as well. Big actual spot. And I hate my chin, so we'll just conceal my whole chin. I've had a lot around the jawline, which I'm pretty sure is meant to be hormonal. So again, I feel like this, I like this edge better, but just for, yeah, that feels really quite awkward using that, because that's just quite a large surface area compared to like areas you'd be concealing. But it's doing a nice job, it's blending it out. And yeah, of course I chose to review this on a day when I've got like loads of spots going on, and I'll just spend ages blending concealer, going la 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 la, blend, 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 blend. You know, at least if I wanted to watch any videos while I was blending, there's hundreds of videos going up right now. It's been a YouTube explosion this week. So, yeah. So I feel like the Beauty Blender blended that out faster. I think with the texture you get with Beauty Blender, it goes around the contours of your face a little bit better. Whereas with this guy, this side is never gonna, unless you're really smooshing it into your face, isn't gonna, you know, meet the contours of your face. That side, again, you literally would have to work around all the contours, which is a little bit longer. You know, it's going to take you a bit longer. Messed my nose up now. Okay, right, I'm just going to add a tiny bit more concealer because I just want to be happy. And yes, I know that was a huge amount more, but just there's a lot going on in that area, and it's easier to just do the whole thing. Okay, so next is powder, because you can use a Beauty Blender if you're baking to apply powder, so we will give it a shot for that as well. I have already got some of my Too Faced Peach Perfect powder out, but I'm now thinking I want more. More powder, more matte, more yummy tasting smelling powder. Yeah. Okay, so again, I'm going to go in with this end because I just think it's a bit more intuitive for what we're using this for. So it doesn't pick up a huge amount of powder. And that's my washing machine. Sorry guys. Sorry, my dishwasher even. So that doesn't pick up a huge amount, which is what I've found with sponges other than Beauty Blender. Whereas when you go in with a Beauty Blender and pick up powder, you get loads. So again, maybe it's the kind of lighter texture that allows it to grab a bit more powder. I don't know. Logically, that seems like it might be a thing. But also, I'm not a scientist. I'm just opinionated. Oh, I got a little bit more there actually. Hang on. Okay, so I haven't really been baking much lately, so probably not going to leave that on for too long. So I'm just going to get a little bit more powder out into my brush for blending that away. Oh my god, it's nearly empty. I have a new one already. Yeah. Addict. I'm addicted to the peach powder. Yeah, so we're dipping my mirror down. Yeah. So I mean, I don't look at that and think, oh, one side looks so dramatically different to the other. So I'm just going to go and finish the rest of my makeup and then I'll come back and do some final thoughts. And yeah. Right, so overall thoughts are, it works, you know. It's $3.99, Beauty Blender's £17. It's definitely more budget friendly. I much prefer the shape of this end. I don't really like this one much at all. Yeah, it gives you a larger surface area, but you could have used these for that. I think having two ends like this would be much better. But you know what, it works, it does the job. If you like sponges that are this shape, this is a good option. It's definitely nice and bouncy and soft, and yeah. Overall, I think I like this shape better, but have a look through the other Battle of the Blender videos and you'll see that there's quite a few that I like. There's even one from the Pound Shop that I actually think does a better job than the Beauty Blender in terms of the amount of coverage that you get from it. So yeah. And if you have any questions about either of these products, leave them down below. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, please subscribe, all that stuff. I always forget to ask, but I'm trying. And I hope you guys have an awesome weekend planned. Bye.